Congratulations, you found the perfect home and you're ready to make an offer. But how do you decide on a price to offer the seller? And besides the price, what other items will you want to negotiate into your offer to get the best possible deal? That's what we're going to be discussing next, right after this. Hi, I'm Bob Weibrecht, a Missouri licensed realtor with Coldwell Banker Realty Gundaker in St. Louis, Missouri. If you're interested in all things residential real estate in the St. Louis market or beyond, please subscribe and click that bell icon for insights and tips into the residential real estate market. I publish new videos every Wednesday and you don't want to miss a thing. Now, how do you decide on offer price and more? Before writing the offer, your buyer's agent may review the current local market conditions with you in your desired area. Knowing the type of market you're in can help you write a great offer. Additionally, your agent may ask you if there's anything that you've missed, such as wanting your parents to see the home first or a desire to be within a 30-minute commute to work. Once these questions are answered, you're ready to write the offer. The standard real estate purchase contract used by the St. Louis Realtors is 9 pages long. Our association is constantly updating it to improve its quality. It can seem quite overwhelming, especially when you add the seller disclosures and any riders into the contract. It can easily double in size. It's not unusual for a real estate purchase transaction to be complex. It is of vital importance to work with an experienced and knowledgeable agent on this point. This is a basic overview of the process. When you're writing the offer, there are 5 things that you should focus on. These things are called negotiating points, and they are 1, the price, 2, the terms, 3, the dates, 4, inclusions and exclusions, and 5, contingencies. But what are each of these? That's what we're going to discuss next. Number 1 is price. Just how much did you offer for the home? Now that you found the perfect home, your agent will provide you with an up-to-date comparative market analysis, or CMA, for this home. They will analyze recent similar home sales and compare them to your perfect home to make sure you do not overpay. Sometimes in the seller's market, though, buyers are willing to pay above asking price for a home. Number 2 is terms. Terms are the components of the contract, such as earnest money deposit, financing, loan arrangements, or seller-paid closing costs, to mention a few. Earnest money, what is that? This is a good faith deposit you make on a home to show the seller that you're serious about buying. It may be known as a good faith deposit in some markets. It is typically 1 to 3% of the offer price on the home. Typically, you will include the earnest money deposit with the offer, either as a copy of a check or electronic transfer to the earnest money holder. Here in the St. Louis market, your earnest money deposit is usually held by the title company. It may be different where you're located. But what happens to your earnest money? The earnest money will be deposited shortly after the seller accepts your offer. If you close on a home, the earnest money will not be returned, but will appear on your closing statement. In the event you do not close on your home, the earnest money may be returned to you depending on your circumstances. Like if you cannot obtain the home loan within the specified period of time, the earnest money will be returned. Read your purchase offer closely because there are some ways you could lose your earnest money deposit, especially if you decide at the last minute to back out of the purchase. Depending on the type of real estate market you're in and your desire to own a home, your buyer's agent can include contingencies into your contract so your earnest money may be returned. Along with deciding on an offer price, you will also decide if you're going to ask the seller to pay for any or all of your closing costs. The seller will consider how much closing costs to pay determined upon several factors, such as current market conditions, how long has the home been on the market, how soon do they need to move, or if they have moved and are paying 2 mortgages. And there are other factors that may be important to the seller also. Number 3 is dates. Dates are when contract actions are due. The most important date here in the St. Louis market is the acceptance date. This is the date that's written on the contract or the counteroffer, indicating both parties have agreed to the transaction. It is the date upon which all other dates, such as when to close, when the buyer takes possession, and when contingencies are due. Typically it takes about 30 days to close on a home here in St. Louis. During that time, the buyer will be getting a loan approval, doing inspections, title work, obtaining homeowner's insurance, and other items included in the contract. Number 4, inclusions and exclusions. Referring again to the St. Louis Realtor's 9-page real estate contract, on the first page there is a list of items that, if present, will remain with the home, such as air conditioning units, the kitchen stove, the dishwasher, for example. Below that is a space to include other items in the sale of the home, such as the refrigerator, washer, and dryer. These items are considered personal items and typically go with the seller when they move. Below that is an exclusion space for the buyer to write in items they wish to have removed by the seller, such as a child's playset or an above-ground pool, for example. And last but not least, number 5, contingencies. Contingencies are a provision in the contract that makes the contract null and void if certain events were to occur. These events could include things such as a negative building inspection findings, or the buyer is unable to get a home loan. There are many types of contingencies, but the main ones are the inspection contingency, the appraisal contingency, financing contingency, and title contingency. These contingencies and their respective end dates are written into your offer, and their start time here in the St. Louis market is the acceptance date. It may be different in your area. To make your offer more attractive to the seller, especially in a multiple offer situation, you could shorten these contingencies or even remove some with caution. If you remove a contingency such as an inspection and later find out there are problems with the home, depending on your market, you may have no recourse to the seller. When the time for the buyer's contingencies have passed, in most cases the responsibility falls to the buyer. If you fail to present your inspection reports on time, the seller does not have to accept them. Or if your loan is not approved on time, you may be still obligated to buy the home. Again, discuss this with your agent. It is especially important to keep track of timelines on the contract. So now you know the 4th step in buying a home, deciding on an offer price and other items. But do you know about the 5th step, the counter offer? That's next time on How to Buy a Home with HeyBobStL.com.